The belongs to relation assigns ownership of a particular record to another record. For instance, a to-do list manager would consist of lists, and then each list would consist of one or more tasks, meaning that each task belongs to a list. So in order to demonstrate this particular concept, I've gone ahead and created a task model and associated tasks table. Now, as you can see, there's nothing particularly special about this task model. It looks just like the to-do list model that we've been using so far. The primary difference being, or I should say primary new feature, is this relation definition. Because each task must belong to a list, we must tell Laravel about this requirement. And you do this by defining a method inside, in this case, the task model. And we call it to-do list, so it's the name of the parent model. And we're telling Laravel that each task belongs to the to-do list model. Now, simply creating this definition is only half of the battle. You additionally need to define a foreign key within the tasks table, which will reference each parent record in the to-do list table. So I'll head on over to the migration, and you'll see this. So this is the migration used for creating the tasks table. And you'll see each record has an ID, primary key. It has a name and the timestamps. However, this particular bit of code is what you really need to pay attention to. It is responsible for creating the foreign key called to-do list ID, and it references the ID column found in the to-do lists table. Furthermore, when the parent to-do lists record, or I should say not when, but should a parent to-do list record be deleted, we want that deletion to cascade, meaning the corresponding tasks will also be deleted, because it doesn't make a lot of sense to leave orphaned tasks in the database if the parent list has been deleted. So again, we're defining an ID, we're defining the foreign key, and then the typical name and timestamps. So with the model in place and the migration in place and executed, let's next log in to Artisan and experiment with this relation. I've returned to the terminal window so we can experiment with this new relation by way of Tinker. So I've gone ahead and entered the Tinker shell, and we'll start things off by declaring the namespace per usual. And next we'll load a list. So I'm just going to load the first one in the database. That would not be to-do parent, but rather that would be list. Okay, our list has been loaded, so the next thing we're going to do is create a new task. And we'll assign that task a name. So with our name assigned, it's time to associate the task with the loaded list. And you do that by chaining together task with the to-do list method that was declared in the task model a moment ago. And we're going to associate the loaded list with the new task. And that's done using the associate method as demonstrated here. So I'll go ahead and execute that. And finally we'll save the task. Now with the task saved, you can do very useful and convenient things such as retrieving the associated to list, or the parent to-do list name. So San Juan Vacation. So this is a very convenient object-oriented way for you to create, manage, and then traverse these associations. And if we head on over to the database now and load the tasks table, you'll see that the task that we just created has a foreign key which references that San Juan Vacation record. So let's go ahead and start by just loading the lists. Let's see, let's try that again. To-do lists. San Juan Vacation is the record associated with ID number 1. And now I'll go ahead and load the tasks. And sure enough, you'll see that the to-do list ID of 1 has been assigned to the task by airplane ticket.